So glad you're here. Let's start. Well, hello. It's Julie Halston, Virtual Halston, Season 2, Episode 7. What? Is it me, or is December just flying by? I'm way behind. I really am way behind. I know it's almost Christmas. Hanukkah's already here for our Jewish friends. Don't you love it when newscasters actually say that? They say that on the air. Merry Christmas, and for our Jewish friends, Happy Hanukkah. Could it be more horrifying and patronizing? Anyway, Hanukkah's already here. It's flying by. As you can see, I'm trying desperately to get into the sort of Christmas spirit. It's very sad, isn't it? Yeah, it really is. But one thing I'm very excited about are our guests today, Julia Murney and Cody. Oh my God. These are two of the most beloved Broadway babies ever. They're just fantastic human beings and talent. So we're very excited that they're here. And I'm very excited about a gift I received from my wonderful producer. So I'd like to bring him on. And also, I just want to give a little shout out to my friend Betty Thomas. Happy belated birthday, darling. But anyway, I'm obviously discombobulated today. Can we bring him in? He gave me a wonderful gift, and I want to talk about it. Jim Caruso, where are you?
Calm down.
I know, I'm crazy.
Center, Julie. Center. We're doing a show.
I know, we're doing a show. I'm discombobulated. I think because the December's going by too quickly. I have a lot to do.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Understand.
Shopping.
I understand. But it's the holidays. And by the way, happy Pride for our homosexual friends.
Yes. Yes.
It's
Happy Kwanzaa. It's Kwanzaa and Pride. And
somebody said it on CNN last night for our Jewish friends. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. It just does seem, it's awkward.
It's awkward. It's diminishing. It's patronizing. Just say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, or just say whatever you celebrate. Happy. You know what? I'm just excited about a vaccine. I want that.
Happy vaccine, everybody.
I want it in my arm.
I know. We should televise it. Because this is television, by the way. Julie and I talk about this show like we're on CBS. You have no idea how seriously we take this.
Aren't we? No, we take it very seriously. No, we have to, darling. And also, I have to say, it's really during the whole global pandemic, it has really saved me. So thank you, darling.
That's how I feel.
You gave me a present. Me a present.
Sure.
And it's so lovely. And I just think we should show people because they can actually buy it if you want. Can we bring that in, Ruby? Look at that.
Come on.
Wait. Yeah, darling. And then
so cute.
It's so cute. It's so sparkly and adorable. And I love that you gave that to me. So you can get your darling mug.
Yeah.
And your darling, and some people have bought it already. Here's the darling mug.
Yeah. Look, it works. Watch.
Get it at pajamacastparty.com. Right. You can get that darling ornament. It's so cute.
It's cute. It's a flat disc, but it's glittery. That's the surprise of it all.
Yes, it's very glittery. It's adorable. It's really beautiful. And you know what? It's strong. I like it. It's not cheap.
No, you can drop the hell out of it.
Yeah, exactly. You really can. Now, Jim, as I was putting on my eyelashes today, because as we know, and thank you, Ardell, my wispies that I have a year's supply of. Thank you so much.
They're big fans of yours, Julie.
They really are. I was putting on my lashes today, and I was reading through my emails, and a lot of people have asked me, you haven't done Joan Crawford in a long time. So I, of course, went back to the Bible. This, of course, is the Bible.
Yes.
My way of life.
Yes, you're known for this.
But also I thought, I've never known if Joan ever really talked about her own, personal beauty routine. Because let's face it, she was one of the great movie stars, of the 20th century.
You assume there's a regimen.
You would assume. Well, guess what? I found a passage that I had never read before, but I thought I would share it with everyone today. It is the holidays. People, I know they're not going to be going to holiday parties, but we're going to be doing a lot of Zoom events. And not only do you have to have good lighting, but you do have to wear some makeup sometimes. Don't you think?
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, exactly. If you saw me right now in person, you'd be like, because I know it looks good on the camera, but really in person, I do look like Jimbo the Clown.
That's a reference I was not expecting.
There he is.
I feel like you're making fun of me a little bit.
No, never. I love Jimbo.
Don't try to shame me. I was just trying to be in show business.
I know, but you know what, darling? And you are, and you've succeeded.
Well, yeah. Mm.
No, but I just have to read this little bit of Joan. This is really her beauty routine, and I thought I'd share it with everyone. I never wear shadow of any kind. I use liner, mascara, and very, very delicate false eyelashes. Very delicate. For daytime, I cut out every other lash to lighten the effect. For evening, I might use them all. Yes, eyelashes can be tricky to put on. I use tweezers to ease down the outer edge and then the inner edge one, working toward the nose. A little more mascara on both my own and the false eyelashes. They blend together and they look very natural. As for my brows, I just brush them. I brush them to keep them tidy. Now, let's see what she looks like. Joan. All right, Joan. First of all, the brows.
They're tidy.
Tidy. But in what universe would you ever say that those were delicate eyelashes?
In the Groucho Marx household, perhaps.
I had never seen this picture of Joan. How about the gloves?
What's the hair? The hair, and now I am speaking as someone with quite a hair situation,
yeah.
But it's like that weird shape. What's going on right there? Right there.
Yes. And the little sort of, devil horns on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, and the horrifying bangs.
That's a short bang.
That's a short bang.
I like a bang. I like a heavy bang. That is not a heavy bang.
I like a 60s bang.
Yeah.
But also, and the stole, the gloves.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And I want to know, too, I wish I could just talk to Joan. Is this the day wear or the heart-shaped hair? You're absolutely right, Libby. Heart-shaped hair. It's incredible. But I just want to know, was that her day look, her evening look?
That was a big day, if that was her day look.
Big day. That was a big day.
It's an important day.
Joan's world, every day was a big day. And it probably included a lot of something in her cup. And I don't think it was water. I think it was vodka neat.
Neat.
Vodka neat. Yes.
Why is that funny when you say it? You can say things that aren't funny, and they're funny. In case the people at home haven't figured that out.
Well, now, darling, let's talk to our gorgeous and wonderful tech director. Let's bring her in. Ruby, where are you?
It's bad.
Yes. How about that, Joan? That picture, I think I'd seen every Joan picture because, I just am obsessed. I'd never seen that one.
Well, Ruby has a heavy brow.
I do have a heavy brow, but I don't do anything with it. I truly just brush it. And let me tell you from experience, those brows have not just been brushed. They've also been filled in, because that's when they start to look like, the Nike sign, like the just do it push. Like when we fill it in, that's how it starts to look. I've been there. I've stopped doing that, but I've been there.
No, she was crazy. I mean, clearly. And the thing that I always find interesting too, because obviously, she was a woman of her time, and the times change what it looks beautiful at a certain point, whatever. Although that heart-shaped hairdo, I don't think is ever attractive on anyone. But I look at other performers and movie stars of that time. Nobody has those brows.
No.
Nobody.
No.
So,
but was she a bit of a game changer with the brows? I like the shoulders. I mean,
yes.
she and her designers really brought that look to the masses. I wonder if ladies were going around at that point in time just with crayons and Sharpies.
I mean, it is interesting, the trends that, thin brows were so in. I remember growing up and wanting to pluck my brows, but my mom always telling me, you're going to regret it. You can clean them up a little bit, but don't pluck them. I had people who, made fun of my brows, but now like big brows are in, just not the Sharpie brows. But big brows are in now, so I'm okay with that.
No, it's terrific. I mean, and remember who brought that to the modern sensibility, I think, was Brooke Shields.
Brooke Shields.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Although she could, have anything on her face and look extraordinary. There are some beauties. I'm not sure if Joan was beautiful. Joan was beautiful.
But, Brooke Shields is also not a bitch.
That is perhaps true.
She's a lovely, lovely woman.
Yes,
so, of course, when you're not a bitch, you're even prettier. I think Joan's beauty was beautiful, but yet, particularly when she was having her vodka neat, I think that she might have been a bit of a monster. I mean, she was, abusing her children. But
who doesn't?
But who doesn't? As you do.
That's what gave me my character, honestly.
There you go. Yeah, you have children, you abuse them, as you do. We're going to get in trouble.
Don't try this at home.
We're being taken off the network, Julie.
I know. Kicked off the Cast Party Network.
I'm going to have people beating down my door. Meanwhile, they're just going to see two very contented cats. But why do we do this? Why do we do this? Before we talk to Ruby, we just want to let people know, why do we do this? Well, we do this because we're hoping we're entertaining you, and we have to pay for our platforms. But also, I just sent a check actually to the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation, and I hope, of course, to send another check this week. As many of you know, my late husband ultimately passed away from that disease. And so that is my mission, to give money to the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. And we love to entertain you. This is the holiday. I know people are stressed. I'm a wreck. But if you can, $10, $15, $25, $50, whatever you can afford, no donation is too small or too large.
I'll say too, if somebody donates $100, I'll throw in a darling ornament. You're welcome, America.
Oh, that would be so wonderful. That would be so. Yeah, guys, for $100, you're not only getting hopefully shows that you adore, Broadway stars that you adore, having fun. You're helping an incredible cause, and you get the darling. Oh, that's so nice, Jim. That's wonderful. So, if you can, please do that. Now, Ruby, what are you doing during the holiday?
Well, I'm in the process of moving, like we talked about last week. But, just kind of taking it easy, staying far away from people, and staying very safe. I think we might be driving to Staten Island for Christmas Day because that's where my boyfriend is from. Staten Island for me, though, might as well be a whole nother state. It's still very foreign to me. But I love my boyfriend's family. My puppy Dakota loves them. Actually, can you see her? She's right here with me.
There she is.
She's right next to me while I produce all of my shows. So she's my little companion, and she'll be with us on Christmas. So just taking it easy.
All right. Well, just don't get the COVID because Staten Island is a hot zone.
Well, we'll be staying literally just at their house. We don't even take the ferry to get there anymore. We drive in to avoid people because people are insane.
The worst
right now.
People are the worst.
People are the worst. Not our virtual Halston viewers, but everybody else is the worst.
And people are just truly crazy. They really are. It's very, very sad. But no. Here in our pod, we're happy. We're happy. And we're safe and we're healthy.
And we have ornaments.
Yes, exactly. Now, Jim, we are very excited to have these two guests on.
Let's get to it.
They're two of the most beloved voices on Broadway. They're real Broadway babies. And I love them not only because they're super talented, they're also just really committed professionals. Do you know what I mean? I
do.
They're just committed professionals. They're always there. They're superior humans as well. They always show up. They're always great. They're just terrific human beings. I'm thrilled that they're here. Let's bring them in. Julia Murney and Jen Cody.
Come on.
Hi. Pepper decided she wanted to say hi.
Oh,
Pepper.
I miss my puppy.
She'll leave in a second. I don't know why. She suddenly was like, "Oh, it's showtime. Let me get a lip on."
she's adorable.
She's a very good girl.
What's her name?
Her name's Pepper.
Pepper Obama.
Her name is Pepper Obama Marie Murney. That is her full name.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did not know that.
Yes. And
Pepper's one of the only dogs that's been in my apartment.
yes, Jim is not a big dog person. I think it's fair to say that.
Wow.
Wait. Let's go back.
That's it.
I just don't have dogs. I enjoy dogs, but not for my own life.
Right. And you were very good with Pepper. I appreciate it.
Oh, I like
you weren't
Pepper.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hi, dog. How are you?"
No.
She's
I grew up with
like,
dogs.
she's the Effie White of dogs. She's like, "You're gonna love me," and that's it. And
I demand it.
yeah, she demands it.
Pepper. Lisa Lambert says Pepper. I love it.
She's really not moving. It's so funny. It's like she knows. She knows I'm on the.
She's
Julie
found
Holden.
her light.
Darn.
I mean,
She knows about the ring light.
she knows that she's on CBS right now. So
That's right.
Jim, you told me that these two gals were at your very first cast.
I don't know if it was the very first, but you guys, both of you, were at one of the first cast party nights back when it really helped us to have fabulous faces from the Broadway scene on our scene. Look at
Oh my
at
God,
those.
my teeth. What is up with my teeth? Those are some choppers right there.
oh no, but I still have that coat. I'm going to tell you that.
I like that Julia's applying her makeup in a mirror ball. Now that's a girl that's good to go.
That's a theater professional.
That's a backstage baby.
But you're both such visible faces in the community. What does that world mean to you?
I'll go, Jules, if you don't mind. That's what I miss the most right now. It's so funny. It really becomes evident why I love what we do, because the minute that part is gone, it really is. It's heartbreaking. I watched last night. I don't know if you guys got to watch the show on CBS last night.
I'm watching it tonight, hopefully.
On CBS, where we are.
Oh, I'm sorry, CBS. I sobbed. And it wasn't that I was like, oh, I do miss performing, but I was like, I love that person. Oh my God, that's what. And yeah, it's really hard. And you just have them talk about Broadway Cares, and it's a huge is a huge part of our lives. It's more important.
Really, it's part of our DNA. And now, Jen, you're very involved with many committees and the union and whatnot. Do we have any sense of what they're feeling about theater and its comeback? I mean, I was thinking to myself, God, if I could just get into a theater and like clean them and put in a ventilation system. I mean, I would do it just to go back to the theater, just to scrub and clean it up. And you know what I
have to say, what has been great about this is that people are very creative. And when you get cast in a show and they're like, we don't have a budget for a set or costumes, and then we find a way to do it better. Right. Some people are being so creative about safety. And there was like a theater that did everything at a drive-in. And then there was another group that did everything in like storage crates. So everyone was separated. So that I think is exciting that we're thinking outside the box. And I truly believe it will come back faster than we originally thought. And I think this vaccine will hopefully make that even faster.
Yeah, no, that's that's hopeful. I love that. I really do. I did a movie with Charles Bush, upstate New York. And I have to say, I was very impressed. I mean, it was weird because it was so COVID safe, but it was, I mean, masked, shields, distant. You couldn't go out, no socializing. We still managed to have fun, but it was odd, but I appreciated how safe, and we were tested all the time. And nobody got sick.
Yeah. The 15-minute rapid test is changing a lot. So
yes. Yeah. Now, we were doing our sound check. And while we were doing the sound check, Julia Murney, because I've known these two dames for a long time, because I'm old. As I tell people on the show, I'm so old that I actually died 8 years ago. What you're seeing is a hologram. And, it still works, but it's a hologram. But Julia, you did tell a very funny story about how you and I did go to the theater one time together. And I thought, ooh, that's so funny. Let's hear it.
Well, it is indeed one of my favorite stories. Several moons ago, you and I attended the opening of I'm going to say it. Yes. That was it. Yeah. Of the play, Vanya, Sonia, Masha, and Spike. And
Mr. Rang.
An uproarious comedy. Excuse me. And it had a stellar cast, and we were in the front row. And it's David Hyde Pierce and Sigourney Weaver, and the audience is going nuts and everyone's laughing, and it's such an enjoyable moment. And Act 1 ends, and as the lights come up, Julie goes, her neck.
Oh my God.
I'm just about lost my marbles.
And that's Julie Halston in a nutshell.
It was so, and it wasn't a comment on and then we just talked about how funny we thought the play was and how much fun we were having. It wasn't like then it turned into something else. No. But it was I think laughing, but I think since then the neck has been cleaned up a bit, and I hope. Well, those are the tricky areas. Am I right? I mean, like the neck and the hands.
Hands are tough.
And the chest. The chest.
And the knees.
Oh, knees.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do about a knee? I'm sure Kardashian could do something about a knee. But
absolutely. I had a moment with Julie like that. We were seeing a friend in a cabaret, and we were sitting in the front row. Again, there might have been wine involved. I'm just saying. There was a moment in the show where our friend, feeling very grand, said, "Many people ask me where I find this material." And Julie said, "Who?" Like, loud. That was nice.
I mean, because she was being very grand, and you just realize, like, nobody's ever asked her that. Nobody. But
Your fan base.
no,
It was a great moment.
yeah,
Hell,
it was very funny. But well, all right. I guess people now just think, wow, she really is a bitch. I just sometimes I just speak the truth, and I guess after a glass of wine. But anyway, let's get to these women because they are so talented and their careers are so fantastic.
Jim's
I'll
out.
never forget. He left. It's all the girls now. I remember, and you guys remember, my late husband Ralph. He went to see the Wild Party, Andrew Lippa's Wild Party. It was off Broadway.
Oh.
There you are, Julia. Look at you.
Look at skinny girl.
Look how beautiful you were, and you're still beautiful. I'm telling you, Ralph came home and he went berserk. I mean, he was just like, I've seen it. I've seen the future. You got to see this show. It's unbelievable. He was raving. Did you guys meet in that? You were Queenie, Julia, and you were May.
Yeah, that's where we met.
That's where you met.
2000. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And how did you become besties? I mean, you just somehow. What was it
that show was very intense, and partially because the cast never left the stage. So it was super like, and there's a big orgy and it's all very physical. And I think that lent, and musicals in general. I've always said, like, even from the difference between doing a play and doing a musical.
Yes.
Like, musicals, the end of day 2, everyone's kissing each other goodbye on the mouth. Like, it's just, but I think it's because there is something very vulnerable and bonding about people having to learn dance moves and notes in front of one another, because everyone's always going to feel like an idiot at some point. And then you're going to be like, well, now they know that I don't know what I'm doing and I'm fired. And like, but everybody feels that way. And it can be very, very bonding. And not every show you do comes away with like, we're lifelong friends. You know, sometimes
Yeah.
I think I have the answer. When everyone asks like why some shows are like that and some aren't, I really know the answer. So producers, listen up. If everybody in the cast feels important, the show will be a success. I can't explain it. It's when everyone feels like if they're not there that night, it won't be the same. The show and the cast bonds in an unusual way.
That's totally it, Jen. That's totally it.
Really good point.
Excuse me.
And it does have to come from the top. That's, you know what I mean? When it comes from the top and everyone feels cherished, really cherished, how could it fail in a sense, right? You know, I mean,
and I think the definition of success and failure are very different. Like my definition, to me, the Wild Party was a great success. Now, the Wild Party did not do the ultimate step that its whole plan was, which was move to Broadway. But it was a success. Things, I don't know. It's an unanswerable question. It doesn't matter because we got to do it. So we won. We won.
Yes, and people still talk about it. It is such a favorite of so many people. And that's when I first heard about you, Julia. And then I remember, again, it was a lot through Ralph because he was press and he was always going to these shows. I remember everyone talking about You're in Town and you know, Jen, Little Becky Two Shoes. I think that's her.
Little Sally.
Sally.
Yeah, that was probably a Broadway Cares event. I did Little Sally.
Yeah, that was one of those events. But there was the character of Little Becky Two Shoes, which is what you did, and people just went crazy. And I do remember Ralph also talking about You're in Town. And of course, then when I saw it, I was like, I get it. Because at first, like, I was like, You're in Town? Really?
Right?
Really?
I don't think you were alone in that. I think a lot of people had that. I have to say that show holds such a special place in my heart because some of my best friends from college were the producers.
Oh,
and so I got to see it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And but most specifically, Jen, were y'all supposed to open right after 9/11 and then you bumped? Is that what it was?
We were supposed to open on the 13th.
Right. That's what I mean. Right after 9/11.
And we ended up starting back on the 13th, which
right. So on the 13th, on that date, I went to see Urinetown. I had already seen it, but I went to see it because I wanted to, Broadway had been shut down for a whopping 2 days, just like now. Anyway, I wanted to go to some show to throw my support, and I'm watching this show, and because you're in town, everyone's like kind of effed up in that show and mad and dirty.
You can say fucked up.
And some people fucked up. I know my mom might be watching. But the emotion that was there, sort of, you guys were allowed to actually have the emotions. And I had suddenly this realization of our girlfriend, Megan, who was also in the Wild Party, Megan Sikora, who was down the block doing 42nd Street. And they all had to have tap shoes on and like smile. And at least in Urinetown, you got to be like, God damn it, to the world. And I suddenly realized, because I had been feeling so like I have no special skills. I can't be a welder. I'm not a medic. I don't do things that are useful for this thing that has happened. And you guys in Urinetown specifically, I sat there and I remember thinking, this is our special skill. We do the thing so then we can allow the audience members to come in and either work through their thing or leave their thing outside, however they need to do it. That's our special skill.
And that's why this is rough right now, because we can't do our special skill.
It's very difficult. And, when we first started doing virtual Halston, the very first show we ever did, and it was really Jim he asked me to do this. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm going to bed for 4 months and that's it. And then he asked me again and I said, no. And then he asked me again and I said, all right, we were going to do it for just a half an hour. And people like Alice Ripley literally was saying, no, you have to keep going. We're with you. We want more. We need more. And we ended up doing like an hour and 15 minutes, our very first show, which, should be edited down, but that's our special skill.
Yeah.
That's what we have to bring joy and laughter and questions and concerns and the human condition. That's what we do. That's our special skill. Actually, you have real skills. I have hair and makeup.
No, ma'am, it is not. It's the same thing, because if I get to go somewhere and whether I'm seeing you, in a Charles Busch play or whatever, or if I'm seeing you reading the wedding announcements, which slays me in half, whatever it is, you allow me to have endorphins rush and feel things. It's all the same. It doesn't matter to me if you're dancing steps, saying words, singing notes, whatever. It's just
that's hard.
Somebody else is going to hear me sing notes and be like, I am unmoved. I do not care. This is not my cup of tea. And be like, okay, well, your cup is right over there. Like, don't give up on everything just because I'm not your cup.
Tying it back to what we were talking about what I miss most right now is the backstage stuff. And I have actually a really funny story. You brought up Charles Busch, and I know Julie can attest to this. When you do a Charles Busch play, you are family, and you are in a space about the size of a bathroom, and you rehearse in like a prop closet.
Yep.
And you become really close with those people. And I didn't know if I belonged in a Charles Busch world when I did this first play. And we were backstage, and there was a curtain between the women and the men. And I was with Mary Testa and Jennifer Van Dyke. And the men every day would not bash women, but be like, well, I've never seen a vagina. Ew, vaginas. They talked about vaginas every day. And finally I said, Mary Testa, I can't do it anymore. I got up. I walked in the other room. I stood up on their dressing table, dropped trowel, and I said, this is a vagina. Now you've seen it. Stop talking about it. And then that's when I knew, like, I miss those times.
Charles Bush. I love that his name is Charles Bush, and we're talking vagina. Charles Bush still talks about that story all the time. He always
and clearly Charles Bush's plays do not have HR. Because, no. Even that was of an era I doubt you could get away with today.
Yeah, probably not.
Now wait, Jen, did you and Hunter meet at Urinetown? Because he was the star of.
No, we were already married. We
tell her how long you've been married, please.
We've been married 23 years.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. We have a picture. I think they. Oh,
come on. Hands on hard body opening.
Yeah.
Oh, you were very excited about that dress. I remember that.
Right. I wore a hat.
You look cute.
We met on Cats. Wow. Yeah, we met on Cats, and then we did Grease together for 3 years before Urinetown.
But wait, when you were in Cats, were you like, oh, he's cute? Or like, did you guys get together pretty quickly?
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't a lot of options. I had been on the road for at 9 months at that point, and then a straight option walks into the room, and you're like, okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He was very charming, and he was a Southern boy, and I was taken.
Yeah, he's gorgeous. And you're adorable. Like what? Yeah. What's to figure out? Now, what do you think though? Because 23 years, that's a lot. Any tips for a happy marriage? Any tips?
Yeah, we laugh constantly. Even when we're fighting, we are laughing, and that is a true story. And I think that even when we start to be frustrated with each other, because pandemic, it's been 24/7 for the last 9 months. We laugh.
Yeah,
because it's just not worth it. Like, we get it off our chest, and then we're like, are we done? Okay, let's go make each other laugh.
Yeah. Whenever I would, there was apparently a radio show when Ralph was a kid, kind of like the Bickersons, and apparently the husband, whenever he would get angry with his wife or whatever, or annoyed with his wife, he'd say, "What else, Helen? What else?" Well, whenever I would start getting on Ralph about something, he would just look at me and he'd go, "What else, Helen?" And he'd call me Helen. And of course, that completely diffused the situation. And I would just start laughing. And that was it. That was the end of that. There was no more tension. What else, Helen? Now, all right. Julia, so you do the wild party, you do a million different benefits or whatever. People talk a lot about your voice. Then you make your Broadway debut in Lennon, which of course your name is Julia, and your parents, I think, named you for John Lennon's mother's name was Julia.
That is correct. There is a song on the White Album, on the Beatles album, the White Album, called Julia, that John wrote for his mom, who died when he was, I'm going to get this wrong, I can't believe it. I used to know all of this information. 14, I think he was. She was sadly hit by a drunk driver as she was waiting for the bus.
Yes.
Yeah. And he was brought up by his Aunt Mimi after that. And when my mom was pregnant, they were trying to figure out names. And the story goes that my dad, if I was a boy, wanted to name me Rock or Murney. So my name would be Murney.
Horrible name.
Because my dad was high and he thought that was funny. And but the White Album came out and this song was on the White Album. It's a really pretty song. It's a
beautiful song. Yeah.
And I think my mom was like, "Oh, be a girl, be a girl, be a girl, be a girl."
Yeah.
And, from now on, I'm calling you Rock.
Rock
or
Murney. People do call me Murney, which I don't mind, but they don't know that part of the story. But yeah, so it was, and Don Scardino, who directed and adapted Lennon on Broadway, was an actor. And he did 2 plays with my dad when I was about 10, 11 years old. So and he's a dreamboat. So I was so in love with Don when I was little And then along comes this show, and of all people, it's Dawn. And at my callback, which was for a lot of people, including Yoko, the assignment for the callback was you can sing any Beatles song you want, do anything to it that you want. You can bring in a guitar. You can be like, I don't play guitar. But, and so I don't remember what I did. I mashed 2 songs together. And when I finished, Don goes, will you sing Julia? And I was like,
Oh,
he's going to make me sing in front of his widow the
oh,
song he wrote for his dead mom. And I sang it. I mean, but like I hadn't sung it. I it wasn't in my brain. I did anyway. And that was my Broadway debut. It was very, John.
Yeah, wow, look at this.
Oh, look who it is. She popped right up on stage opening night.
Now, what was that like meeting Yoko? That might have been a little intimidating, no?
She was always very kind to us, to the actors.
Mm-hmm.
She was very, thank you for doing this for John. Thank you for doing this for John. Here's my bottom line on it. I cannot imagine what it's like to be her, to be someone who every time she steps out of the house for the past 40 years, 50 years, she has been vilified.
Yeah.
We did not really grasp how many elements of the world who still care about such stuff are mad at her, even after all of this time. And that was a lot to handle. And it was tricky because she owns John. So we do her bidding in terms of the storytelling. Yeah. And so the Beatles were kind of like, the Beatles happened anyway.
Yeah.
So it was tricky. I mean, it was a great cast. And I think the biggest bummer of that one was that was right before everything started to get a cast album, because digital was coming in and it was just easier to do, to distribute and stuff like that. And Lennon was a big flop, in case any of you were wondering.
I was not going to say that.
Yeah, I shall. And so it was a big flop, and there was no money. And the only person who could ever possibly have paid for it would be Yoko.
Yeah.
And she is nothing if not an incredibly astute businesswoman. And somebody in passing, some idiot in passing, said, well, I mean, cast albums rarely make their money back. And that was the end of our cast album.
That was the end of that. Yeah.
And which is why I sang one of the songs like on my solo album, just because it didn't exist otherwise. But like, it's a bummer because the cast was great.
Yeah.
We did not have a record of that, but what you gonna do?
Now, speaking of voices, Jen Cody.
Yes.
You do have an International Animation Film Award. Your voicing of what was Charlotte LaBeouf.
Charlotte LaBeouf, yes.
I think we have a little, there you are.
There you go.
Look at those lashes, Julie. Look at those lashes on Charlotte.
The Disney hit Princess and the Frog. What was that like? And how did that all come about? What was the experience? And also, like, you beat out a lot of people, like heavy duty names like John Leguizamo, and I think you, Laurie, and Jennifer Lewis. You beat out Jennifer Lewis.
I actually have a funny story about that. It was weird. It kind of connects to the Wild Party. I was doing the Wild Party, and Jen Gruden, the casting director of the film, saw what Charlotte looked like, and she was like, oh, that reminds me of that character right now in the Wild Party. And that's actually how I got the audition, because she was a little 1920s flapper. And I auditioned for almost a year. And every time they would call my agent, I was like, I'm still up for that? Like, I think there was no pressure on me, because I would go to these auditions with fancy pants people. And one of the people I auditioned right after for the role, I think it was like the third or fourth callback. I'm not going to say her name, but it rhymes with itiny ears.
Oh,
and,
yes.
She had her baby with her, like in this kind of baby, not walking baby.
Right.
And she was She's feeding that baby a Coca-Cola. So that was, but funny. I don't have an album. And when it got down to the last 4 people, it was a Friday night at like 2:00 in the afternoon. They called and they said, you have to go make an album. Can you just go to a sound booth and record your book? Just sing all the songs from your book. And we have to have it to them by like 5:00. And so I did. I got a piano player. We went, recorded all the songs. I don't even know. And we sent it. And then, because everyone else had their own album. So.
And then you got an award for it. And meanwhile, social services should have been called on that other person.
Right?
Whatever. That is just so crazy. If you're enjoying the show, by the way, I just want to remind you why we do this. We do this to pay for the platforms, to entertain you, to bring you the people that we are bringing you, and to give a donation to the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. I hope you're enjoying. Please let us know. And we're here with Julia Murney and, of course, the incredible Jen Cody. And thank you again for all your generosity. We've been so lucky we have done, ladies, I think like 27 episodes of this. I mean, it's really crazy.
I have a question for you, Julie.
So generous
have you repeated an outfit?
I have.
Oh, okay.
It's the second time.
I'm not judging that. I was just curious. Some people
I have.
crazy about that.
I try not to, but I have repeated. But I'm actually hoping after the holidays to because my stylist happens to be my best friend, and I'm hoping to see him, and he has outfits for me.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
Yeah. So I'm hoping.
It makes me crazy when we're sort of expected or something to not repeat dresses in one night concerts. I'm like, I'm sorry, I do not have a stylist.
No.
I just have the clothing that I have.
Right. No. You have the best friend.
Rent the Runway, but Rent the Runway, it's not cheap.
No,
so it's not like it's $25.
No, but it's you only have to take care of it for it's like $60, and you have a beautiful dress, and then you just give it back.
Yeah. I don't think people outside the business understand too. The joke of the century is that people who don't need swag get swag.
I know.
Last night, Jen knows this. Last night, I got this thing in the mail. I was like, what is this package? And it was this just big oversized sweatshirt, which are my favorite things, with this, and it came with a little card. And I didn't know what it was at first. And then I realized it was from an animated thing that Mark Shaman is writing with Scott Whitman. And they had asked me to just do literally 12 bars of over tracking because Mark lives next door to my parents and I was up there and he was like, are you up here? And it was like that. But it was such a little nothing thing. And I just let it go. But it got me on the master mailing list or whatever for the project. And it was a holiday gift. And it was one of those moments, but this is one of those big oversized sweatshirts that you easily pay. I know this isn't going to sound like a lot of money, but it does to me, like a $65 sweatshirt.
Yeah,
that's whatever the postage is. I think about this, and to them, to a studio, they're just like, here you go.
Oh, I know.
And to me, I'm like, ooh, but then you realize it's just what you said, Julie. The more fancy you get, the more swag you are offered, and the less you need it.
Oh, well, when I was on a sitcom, we were given computers and DVD players and cashmere blankets. And it's like, wait, there's a homeless person outside of Warner Brothers right now. Saving the blanket.
I will tell you, Julie, our opening night of Lennon, to throw it back for a moment, we didn't get anything from Yoko. And I was a little bit like, come on now, billionaire. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I'm like, even if you don't know everything about how theater works, clearly you knew it was opening night because you came on stage during Give Peace a Chance, as we just saw from the photograph you showed.
Right.
And so I was sort of half joking, half bitching about it. And a day or two later, came into work, and on everybody's station was an iPod. And this is when they were brand new. And it was engraved on the back and said, "Imagine peace, love Yoko 05." I'm convinced that she had like a closet of them and turned to her assistant, was like, "Brian, just get some iPods for the kids.
Get them out. There's 12 people that we.
You know, we just did our musical 20-year reunion, and everybody came. And the joke of the 20-year reunion was like when Rosie joined the company. You know, Rosie gives gifts all the time.
Rosie O'Donnell, for those of you who may not know.
Sorry, Rosie O'Donnell. When she joined our company with Musical, we had a lot of gay couples who were trying to. She had a connection, right? So we were joking that when she came, we were all just going to come in the dressing room. There's going to be a bassinet. We were all going to just get a baby. Because like 3 of the couples in the show adopted. I don't want that. I don't want the baby.
But Rosie is like that. She's, and Alec Baldwin is like that. They're very, sort of outsized personalities, but they're also very outsized in their generosity, which is fantastic. Now,
when I did Taboo with Rosie, the moment I said yes to my agent on the phone about doing the show, a package arrived at my door in Teaneck, New Jersey, with a cast jacket in it. That was like
already. Oh, I like that. And that was just saying yes.
Yeah, that was like when cast jackets were cool.
I was going to say, for those of you who happen to be watching and they're like, "What's a cast jacket?" They used to be the reason you wanted to be in a Broadway show was to have a cast jacket with your name on it.
Oh, it really was the reason to go into theater. And also, Rosie O'Donnell was, and still is, I think, obsessed with Jen Cody. I mean, she was obsessed with Jen Cody. Every time I would see Rosie, she was like, "You know who the most talented person in the world is? You know who the most talented person in the world is?" I was like, "Me? No. Oh, Jen Cody." Yeah.
I love Ro.
No, she's great. She's just absolutely great. Now, wait, we talked about the voices and this and that and relationships. We do know, Julia Murney, that you are one of the voiceover queens. You have many, many, many commercials. I have not been able to really break into the commercial world. I wonder why. The only time I ever made money doing commercials was when I used to be the New York Lottery person, like a New York Lottery person for a while. I was doing a lot of those, but that's only because of my New York accent. But Julia has a beautiful voice, and I think we actually can listen. Ooh. Ruby, do we have some Julia Murney sounds? Do we have that, Ruby? I don't.
You could wear a fragrance to attract a man, or you could wear a fragrance to celebrate your own power of attraction and see what happens. Celebrate the exhilarating new fragrance for women.
New L'Oreal Kids. No tears. New L'Oreal Kids shampoo.
Oh my God!
It didn't sound like you in my ears.
Okay, first of all,
sound like you to my ears either.
Let's first of all discuss how old that demo is. That's an old demo. I also need to discuss whoever made that. I'm assuming that like was pulled from YouTube or something. The pictures that are behind it. That last picture is from when I was on the Today Show. Back when Kathy Lee and David Friedman did this series called Everyone Has a Story.
I remember that.
And letters were written in and about people in interesting situations, and they would write an original song. And then like the Monday, it was always on a Thursday, and the Monday before, they would contact the winner of that week and say, "We've chosen your letter and we're flying you to New York, and you can bring a friend and you'll be on the Today Show," and blah, all this stuff. So I was like the third or fourth one. And prior to me, it was like Norm Lewis and Paolo Schott and maybe Carolee Carmello, all these like, big, and they were all these anthemic, like, you are my son and you're why I live, and all these like, things that make everybody cry, and like beautiful, like people helping other people and all this stuff. And then there's Maude. My number was called Shadow Woman. And it was this woman who, I don't remember where she lived, who was from, and then I don't remember what country she was from. She lived in America, but she was from a Slovakian country. And she basically told the story in her letter about how devastated she was right after she married her husband when he informed her that he didn't want to have children. Oh. So already I was like, wait, was she a mail order bride? Was she a mail order bride before TLC and 90 Day Fiance and all that happened? And but then she eventually, and then she felt like a shadow woman as years went by and all of her friends had children and she felt she had nothing to give, until she volunteered somewhere and met this young boy, and she like became like a mentor to him.
Why did they pick this letter?
This is the letter they chose. And this is the song that I had to, and it was like this, I am a woman that nobody sees. A shadow on the wall. It was so depressing. It was so sad. I'm like, oh my Lord. And Shadow Woman, Lizzie. And and then when you're done, they bring you over to sit on the couch. That's what that picture was. That's sorry. That's a long ass story.
No.
Oh, this is terrible. That's a terrible story.
It was just, I mean, Kathy Lee, she was incredibly generous and incredibly kind. And I was like, why would you pick this? But
yeah, no, that's bad. That's bad. Anyway. Now, we will get to the Green Girl because we have to talk about the Green Girl. And we all know that, the Green Girl, Wicked, it's a huge hit or whatever. But, there she is, the Green Girl.
There she is.
It's an athletic event, I would imagine, Julia.
Yes.
What did you have to do to maintain your stamina during that run? And you did it on the road and then you did it on Broadway?
Yeah, I did both.
Why did you go back?
I mean, because then you were like, well, at least I'll be home, right? It'll be easier. That's a goddamn lie. Don't listen to that lie. Not to mention that the stage on tour is flat and the stage on Broadway is raked. So that already does such a number.
If anyone doesn't know what a raked stage is, it's actually like on an angle and it kills your ankles and calves.
And have always found you don't notice it when you first walk on it. You're like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Especially if you don't have to dance. It's different if you have to dance, you have to have a center of gravity. But I'm rarely super dancing because that's not my thing. But what happens is regardless of what you're doing, after a couple of weeks, you're like, oh, it's funny. Why do I have this crick? It's like this insidious thing that starts moving up your body. And then everyone's in PT and everyone's got to get massages. And
all the people in Cats, because it was also raked, when you would go to regular dance class, you'd start to turn, you'd be like, whoop! Whoop! You could not turn because you were so used to turning on this angle that the minute it was flat, you'd all fall down.
I have trouble just standing anywhere.
Did having the tail mess you up when you had to turn? Because there was something extra? It
was a tail. It was a cat. Yes.
I've just always been curious.
What kind of cat were you, by the way, Jen? What was your cat?
I was Rumpelteazer. I was Mischievous Cat.
Oh, Mischievous Cat.
Mischievous.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
And Julia, I'm sorry, you were saying.
No, it's okay. I think the biggest thing with Wicked that I realized that I had to do was I had to sleep more than I felt comfortable with in a weird way. I almost felt embarrassed by the amount of sleep that I needed. And I had to remember to eat properly. This is a muscle just like anything else. And you can't wake up in the morning and be like, I think I'll run a half marathon right now. Go. You stretch, you do things to get yourself into shape to be able to do that. And you have to, give this protein, whatever that means. And I'm not a big breakfast eater. And so very often on 2 show days, I'd be on the subway on the way to work and be like, I didn't have breakfast. Oh God, I need to eat something. I need to eat something like good before I try and do the matinee. And this is so sad. There's a McDonald's on the corner of where the Gershwin is. And so I would go and get a chicken nugget Happy Meal because it's all I needed were just some nuggets and some fries.
Grease the wheels.
Yeah,
grease
put some grease on and some protein. And then I would come in and we would I'd have a contest with the crew guys to see who got the toy from the Happy Meal.
Okay, this is a disturbing conversation.
It's a chaotic disgrace, is what it is. But and I think like the big thing with a show like Wicked is that it can get into your brain because that show. I mean, Lennon was the like polar opposite in terms of, it lasted that long, and then there's Wicked, which is like a juggernaut of massive proportions and running for years. I mean, I did it early on, but it's so dissected by its fans. Its fans are very passionate and very rabid, and woe to you if you are not their favorite witch. Because let me tell you, they get mean.
Oh, I bet they do.
And sometimes they don't realize what they're saying to your face.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but like, after blah, 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 you're my favorite. Oh, okay. I know you think that's a compliment, and it is a compliment, but I'm also exhausted. So I need you to not speak to me anymore.
People say the rudest things all the time. And I will tell you, I just told this to Jim and he just said, you have to tell the girls this story. Okay. I did Gypsy with Bernadette Peters, and I was Miss Electra, one of the strippers. And, I'm not musically confident, even though I've done 10 of them, which is crazy. It's kooky. So I go in, and I'm, very nervous. Sam Mendes, all that. And there's a girl there. She's quite known in our community. She's frequently a featured performer, but she's also an ensemble person. Cannot say her name. But she was getting ready. She was wearing a bustier for strippers, and she had a lot of makeup on or whatever. And I came walking in and she said, are you here to audition for one of the strippers? And I said, yes, I am. And she said, I guess they're seeing all ages.
Oh, no.
Wow.
It was the rudest thing that anyone has ever said to me. It was so rude. I just started laughing. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And this is the thing. I got the book.
Can I show you? I sent this picture to Jen Cody today because I found it while she and I did Gypsy together. When was that, Jen? Like 3 years ago?
Oh, no, we have this picture, darling.
Oh, you have it?
I think we have it. Ruby, there
it is.
Look at that.
Wow, I'm a mess.
Look at Jen Cody giving you some tessitura.
You look at that. You both look fantastic.
I think I wore your costume, Julie.
What, honey?
I think I wore your costume.
Did you have, I had a big sort of Ferris wheel of a head. Yeah, you probably did. It was made at Corelli. You might have, the tits, the vagina, the ass.
Oh, wait, I wasn't Electra. I'm so sorry. I wore Tessa's costume.
Yeah, no. I was Electra. Yeah,
but Julie, I also want you to see this. This is from summer camp when I was 15.
Oh.
And I played Mazeppa.
Oh,
look at that.
That's not appropriate.
Oh, no, it's fantastic.
That's inappropriate.
Oh, I love it.
Good night.
Oh, that's so inappropriate. I love it. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, wait, we're going to talk about Junie B. Jones. We're going to talk about another thing.
Lunchbox.
Look at her.
A rodeo lesbian clown. That's what they called me.
What did they call you?
Jen,
a rodeo lesbian clown.
Rodeo lesbian clown. I remember that.
Yeah.
But Junie B. Jones is a huge phenomenon. Like it's people love those books. They know it. They're obsessed. It's big. It's a big deal. I wanted to know because the musical is by Marcy Heisler and Zena Goldridge. Yeah. You're such a good improver, Jen. I mean, you're so good. You know how to handle any situation. You're so clever. Did you help with the making of the book how did it?
No, I mean, that was one of them that it was down at the Lord Tell.
Yes.
And it was that was a show that was kind of already done. Following that, I did Henry and Mudge at the Lord Tell as well. And that was a different one. That was like where we created it, right? Junie B. Jones was very much, they knew what it was when I took it.
Yeah. But you're a good improver. And, I'm just wondering, during this whole pandemic, I mean, have you and Hunter talked about this? Like, what have you been doing creatively that's kind of helping you get through? Like, are you writing?
Yeah, I mean,
what are you doing?
Hunter is now the artistic director at the Red House Art Center in Syracuse, New York. So we're there most of the time. Oh. Yeah, my husband and I have really good timing. He became an artistic director, and I became the vice president of equity all before the pandemic. So timing is everything.
Yeah.
It's been interesting there. We've done a lot online. We've done some plays and stuff. But it's our life is kind of what we do anyway. Like he's always trying to get me to do this thing on Facebook Live, because he thinks he also has a television show. But I would like to say something that I had this dream like a month ago, and I woke up and I was like, you know what we need to do? We need to get all of these people that have all these crafts online and all these businesses online, and we need to put them all in one place. So I reached out on Facebook and I was like, does anyone want to help? And Michelle Lehrman, love her to death, she's like, let's do it. So we put together this thing, and I made a little thing.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So thrivingcatalog.com/2020. Artists, so thrivingcatalog.com/2020. We have over 100 vendors of crew guys and wardrobe and ushers and musicians and stage managers and actors, all of who have other things they do. And some of the gifts are so creative, and they're all selling their stuff on that. So
you're having your own Etsy store.
I don't do anything. I'm just promoting it. I just like put it all in one place for people. But if you have gifts to get for people, all this money will help take care of people who can't do what they do right now. So
that is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. I hope people, you know what? Text that to Jim or Ruby.
I'll put it in the chat.
We'll make a little banner of it. We'll make a little banner of it.
I'll do it right now.
That's what it looks like on Instagram.
There it goes. Yeah. Artists are thriving. Oh, this is so great. I hope my viewers are taking this all in. And by the way, please feel free to tip us. We're hoping that you're enjoying these women. It's girl power here. It's girl power night. There we go. Come, please, to give us some tips so we can continue doing this. Venmo, PayPal. I know it's a strange, hard time. We're all exhausted. We're all, it's the holidays. It's a hard time, but $10, $15, $20, it just helps us out. And we'll try to, and there, look, we've got the banner for artists are thrivingcatalog.com. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you. I'm going to bring Jim back in because I know he wanted to ask you guys some things about television and whatnot. And Jim, come back in.
I've loved this conversation so much. This is good. You guys are good.
Well, they have a lot of talent.
I mean, yes.
A neck.
A neck.
How about the neck?
That's all I've been thinking about the whole time. I'm like, I'm trying to like, pull up
Oh, please.
so that Julie's not going to talk about my neck.
Yeah. Oh, that Jen Cody. She's talented, but what are we going to do about Jen's, Yeah, no. You haven't aged a day, darling.
That's really true.
No,
That's
you
really
haven't
true.
aged a day.
Yeah.
Well, these are the three of you are great beauties. Very proud to be here with you.
You're a liar.
Even though you're drunk, Tim.
I'm
so drunk.
My face with injections. I have Botox. I have to inject. It's a nightmare. But anyway.
You mean that's not your natural state, Julie? Julie hasn't had an expression since the 90s. Here's my question. Julia, I was watching the late night TV, as I'm wont to do, and it was on again. I've seen it 100 times. I have to say, your appearance on Sex and the City is still such an iconic one. Look at you both. I'm doing your
beautiful
blouses there. Tell me, do you get calls every time that's on, which is once a week?
I do tend to get like a text or whatever. And I feel like outside of the subset of musical theater, where I sometimes get recognized in places, that's the thing totally that has gotten, I mean, I've had like, receptionists be like, can I help you? Why are you like, they're not always immediately like, gotcha, we know who you are. But usually all I have to say is, did you watch Sex and the City? And they're like, oh my God, you were the girl in the Raw restaurant with Smith. Like, because if you're a fan, then you're a fan. I'm sure, Julie, you've run into this a million times.
I do.
Much with an actual role. And I was on one scene, and I will say, like, I had been told, I had never auditioned for Sex and the City before. And I had been told that like people had sort of war stories of auditioning over and over and over and over again before they got cast. And they had already announced that they were done, that they were going to wrap up. So I was like, well, I'm never going to book this. I've never even auditioned. Like, I don't have and I booked it. And I was like, how did this happen? And I showed up for my day on the set. And, oh gosh, Julie, what's his name? Michael Patrick King? Is that his name?
Yes, Michael Patrick King.
Who was the director and
executive producer.
Thank you. And he comes over to me and he goes, we're so happy that you're here. And I was like, who are you speaking to, sir? I said, I'm so happy to be here. And he said, I just have to tell you, SJP and I came to see The Wild Party together and we loved it. So I was like, oh, I got this because he's gay. Okay. Cool. And
you have beautiful breasts.
Yeah, well, I've got breasts. And Kim Cattrall was like, he was like, Kim, she's a singer. She was so nice to me. And it was the guy who plays Smith. It was his first day on the set.
Oh, right.
Oh my God.
That's the time he was introduced.
He became this huge role and such an important part of the wrap up, especially for Samantha, for Kim Cattrall's character.
Sure.
And so he was nervous, but everyone was so nice. It was such and just to get to do the looking through the costumes to decide what I was going to wear. You never saw anything but this. I had on awesome shoes and these pants and like, you never saw them. And the hair and makeup, like I was in there for a while because they will do you up.
Oh, yeah. They were fantastic. They were just amazing. Yeah. And you could just literally be in there for hours. And the lighting was extraordinary because everything was
to make you look
so beautifully.
Like $1 million. And the very next thing I did was like a one day on that TV show NYPD Blue.
Yes.
And I was like, Mom in a playground. And I walked into the trailer and it was basically like one light bulb and a tub of Vaseline.
Yeah.
And they were like, they looked at me and they were like, yeah, you're good. I was like, no, I was pretty last time. Can you do something?
Those are the only jobs I do, Julia. They're like, you look good. Just go ahead.
Yeah.
Nothing?
Nope. No one was interested.
Just a little something.
Something.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not when you're mom in the playground. Nope.
I bring eyelashes with me. now.
Julie, what was your character's name, Julie?
What, darling?
I'm sorry, what was your character's name?
Bitsy Von Muffling.
Of course.
Now, Julie, when you bring lashes with you, have you put them on and they're like, you just put lashes on?
No, I literally, I do a whole thing. It's almost as if like you say to somebody, I have diabetes and I have to have my insulin.
Yeah.
I literally go off to a corner with the makeup woman or man and I say, I'm very insecure about certain things about my eyes or whatever. I brought these with me and I would appreciate it if you could just put these on. I know it might not be part of the character, whatever, but I have a lot of insecurity about my eyes. And they almost all do it. They all generally do.
You've had no blowback ever?
No, I've never had blowback. In fact, what one person said to me is, I have better ones.
Oh.
I have better ones for you.
Because sometimes I've brought, Jen, I don't know if you've ever done this. I always bring makeup with me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've tried to like, when I'm not supposed to be like tragic mom or whatever, but it never, I don't have the courage of my convictions. I'm like, I'm going to get in trouble. They're going to be like, and now you have eyeliner on.
Characters where they're painting my teeth green because I'm a crackhead. Like that's what I'm playing. So no, I never bring my own makeup.
When I think of crackhead,
you have to make it sound like you have a disease, like some kind of like I must have these because I have such insecurity about my eyes. I'll make up anything.
Like a service dog.
Yeah.
It's like a service dog.
It's a service dog.
Totally doing that from now on. Thank you, Julie. Thank you.
My service lashes.
Yeah, exactly.
I may have a seizure if I don't put these on.
You don't want to see that. So just please put them on me. Okay. Guys, we've reached the end of our time together.
Wow.
Oh,
This went quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah. Seeing you.
I mean, really, I just miss, I miss us. I miss walking down 9th Avenue and seeing everyone going to their shows.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? And
do you miss walking down 9th Avenue and seeing everyone going to their shows and being like, yeah, I'm never working again. So that's also a thing.
Or when you leave your house at 7 a.m. to walk your dog with no makeup on and you see every single casting director that there is.
That only happens if you live down where y'all live. But
yeah. Well, this was so great for us, and I hope for the audience. I one of the things I love about Virtual Halston, though, is that I'm also bringing people like who might not have known a lot about the theater or what it is or the backstage stories or what people go through. Now they have a little bit of an understanding, of what an actor does go through and how much we miss it. But, on the other hand, we're healthy. We're here. We're all together. Are you going up to Syracuse soon, Jen?
I am. I'll be leaving next week to go back home for the holidays.
Okay. And Julia, you'll be in town?
I'll be in town. I'm going to go up to see my parents who live a little bit upstate, just for Christmas,
Right.
I'm going to have a walk with my friend Jim Caruso before then. We have a plan.
That's right.
We
and
always
I think
walk.
I'm up in the Berkshires, but we have, Virtual Halston. It will be here next week. In fact, we have the Calloway sisters.
It's gonna be good.
Yes, we have the Calloway sisters. So happy holidays to our Jewish friends. Happy Hanukkah. Do you believe they say that on network television? It's so horrifying. I love you both very much. Jim, I don't like you.
Never liked you.
Yeah, don't like you. Please feel free to keep tipping us, Venmo, PayPal. We hope you enjoyed the show. We love you all. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week.
Happy holidays, everybody.
What more is there to say?